What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
Will we ever see another team three-peat in our lifetime? I mean, think about it. In the history of our league, we've only had 5 teams in the history have three-peated, with the Chicago Bulls accounting for 2 of those teams with their dominant 90s run. Now, the last team to three-peat would be the 2000s Shaq and Kobe Lakers. And that featured the most dominant player currently in the game, arguably the most dominant player in league history, paired with arguably the best player in the NBA, or if not, probably the best guard in the league, if anything else. When you look at the NBA teams that have three-peated in the history of our beloved league, they were truly dominant teams, many of which fell under a common unique philosophy under a single head coach. I mean, think about it. The Minneapolis Lakers all fell under John Kay. The Boston Celtics, who actually eight-peated, all fell under Big Red Auerbach. He emphasized ball movement, never really had a lone offensive weapon, but it was offense by committee. And of course, he had the fabulous Bill Russell. And think about this. Phil Jackson alone was responsible for 3 of those three-peats. 2 with the Chicago Bulls and 1 with the Lakers. And if you want to look at just back-to-backs, well, Phil Jackson has 4 of those when you include the Kobe and Powell Lakers and back-to-backs. With each of those teams, Phil Jackson was coaching the best player in the NBA, paired with another all-time great. At all times having the most dominant player in the NBA during those runs, Michael Jordan with the Chicago Bulls, Shaquille O'Neal with the Los Angeles Lakers. And they all fall under his unique philosophy of coaching and schemes and the popular triangle offense. Well, at least what he was known for, popularized through Phil Jackson, but not the originator. That was Tex Winters. Now, in order to become champions, typically you have to be pretty well coached. And if you look at the teams that have three-peated, check. You have to have a disciplined team. You have to be laser focused, a sharp laser focused team, a fairly healthy team or healthier team. And typically you're going to need a little bit to a lot of bit of luck to come your way most times in these runs, most of the time. Now imagine all of those things having to fall in line again for a second championship, and then yet again for a third time to be able to three-peat. The stars aligning. With each year, your probability of repeating and winning again decreases. Not only for the reasons that I just previously mentioned, but now also because all the teams have a target on you. They're gunning for your spot. Many teams with championship aspirations are building and changing their teams specifically to counter your roster. You are getting everyone's best shot every single night in the regular season and in the playoffs, and your team has to wake up for that level of competition on a regular basis, despite the mental and physical fatigue, despite the urge to be complacent, despite conflicts and personalities and contracts and countermeasures. It is insanely difficult to go back-to-back, let alone three-peat in the NBA. You know, many consider the Greg Popovich San Antonio Spurs a dynasty. And I'm not here to argue what constitutes a dynasty or a dynastic run, but did you know that not a single one of those 5 championships under Coach Pop and Duncan consisted of them going back-to-back, let alone three-peating, which is something that they did not do? The super team of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh were not able to three-peat in their run. And if it wasn't for a little bit of luck I was talking about, with the Ray Allen three-point possession to extend Game 6, the Heat don't win that championship. let's talk about my Los Angeles Lakers. And for those of you that don't know, if you're new to the channel, I'm a lifelong Laker fan, a true Laker fan. Right, my Lakers on the way to their three-peat. Think about that. Think about the Lakers versus Sacramento series in 2002. We already know about the referee scandal that was linked to that series in Game 6 with the Lakers taking an absurd 27 free throws in the fourth quarter. That's already an asterisk on that one. And I'm a Laker fan, but that's crazy. Also, what people tend to forget in that 2002 Western Conference Finals, they forget about Game 4. Game 4 at Staples Center. The Lakers are down in the series 2-1. They were set to lose that game in the final moments, and then this happened.
Seconds, Kobe Bryant against Christie. Kobe Bryant on the move against Christie. In for the right, flips his shot up, no good. O'Neal lays it up, missed it. Ball tipped out to Ori, straight on three. Good! The Lakers have won! Robert Ory's greatest hits tour continues.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's got to be getting a Grammy for that one.
Look at it again. Vlade does what you're supposed to do, get the ball outside. But Robert Horry never left his position. He said, I wasn't going to try to go for a 2. I wanted a 3. Divock said it's lucky Horry disagreed.
If that is not a whole lot of luck, then I don't know what is. The chances the opposing team smacks the ball out of the way to get it away from the basket in the final moments of the game, and it goes to one of the most clutch spot-up shooters of all time to bury the shot at the buzzer before time expired. If that ain't luck, I don't know what is. And I remember that game like it was yesterday. The Milwaukee Bucks won a championship in 2021. I was there. And it looked like Giannis was the best player in the NBA. And Middleton and Drew Holiday were quality Robins, and they were poised for more title runs. They never been back to the finals since. After Joker's dominance in 2023 into 2024, many thought they were going to go back-to-back those Denver Nuggets. Nope. Second round exit. Think about all the things that had to happen for the Cavs to come back from a 3-1 deficit to win Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors. Speaking of the Golden State Warriors, we all thought the KD Golden State Warriors were going to three-peat, except Kevin Durant tore his Achilles tendon, trying to make a comeback in the finals when it looked like Golden State really did need him against the Toronto Raptors. On top of that, if I'm not mistaken, Klay Thompson tears his ACL in a close Game 6. Toronto Raptors win. But if you look at that same Warriors team, if you look at their run for their second ring with KD when they faced the Houston Rockets, not in the finals, they faced the Houston Rockets in the playoffs. It went 7 games. The Warriors narrowly won. And the Rockets did not have CP3. He was hurt. And the Rockets went an improbable 7 for 44 from three-point land that game and missed 27 straight threes on top of that. What are the chances of that? And the Warriors narrowly won that game. But if you look at just the last 2 teams that were able to go back-to-back, not three-peat, just back-to-back, and the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat, they boasted heavy star power, a strong bench, a great coach, and were mostly so heavily favored each season that people will put their life savings and their newborn on the betting table in favor of those teams. The league was lacking parity during that time. If we didn't know who was going to win the championship, we at least had a great idea of who was going to be representing the East and the West at a minimum. Now in the NBA, the over-obnoxious super teams are mostly gone. Those super-duper teams, they're mostly gone. And there's far more balance across the league right now, where most people legitimately may struggle to find a team they are confident in, a team that they can say with absolute confidence, this team is going to win it all. Setting fan bias aside, it's hard to do now. Right now, as I speak, we're sitting in the 2024 playoffs. We currently have 4 teams left in the NBA. And I have no idea who is going to win it all. If I had to pick who would be representing each conference in the finals, I might say Minnesota and Boston. But to make this very clear, I don't want either one of those teams to be there. I'd rather the Dallas Mavericks and Indiana Pacers be there. But I have no confidence in those picks at all. That Minnesota-Boston that I said, I have no confidence in that. Zero. I could honestly see any of the four teams representing. And initially, I wouldn't have said that about the Indiana Pacers, but especially how after Game 1 went, it's possible. Given how much more balance we have in the league, a better playing field, I don't see any teams that really stand out to be far and above the rest, or have two players or a collection of players that are just so ridiculously overwhelming where I would have that much confidence. There's a matchup nightmare for each team out there, despite their records. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it, folks. Let me know what you think about it. If you have any other great points that you can add to bolster my argument or bolster your argument against mine, please let me know in the comment section. Be blessed, y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.